Internet, welcome to Delta Tech. I'm Jacob, and today we are in the latest snapshot of Minecraft. Snapshot 20W06A is finally here, the first of the Nether snapshots, where we finally get to explore the new Nether update and see all the new features that they've been hiding from us, including, as you saw at the beginning, there is a new type of ore, but we'll get into that in a moment. Actually, let's get into it right now. What's this? A netherite helmet? Not only is this better, this has the same armor as diamond helmet. It has a higher armor toughness, yet it also has knockback. If we compare that to, say, this diamond one, you'll see 2 armor toughness and 3 armor. Well, this is 3 armor toughness, 3 armor, and 1 knockback resistance. So you take less knockback with the new armor tools, and you can get this with any tools or armor, doesn't matter. But how you upgrade this is you simply just take your diamond helmet, or whichever tool you want, combine it with one netherite ingot, you can place it however you want at a crafting table, and as you can see right here, boom, we got a netherite helmet out of that now we can use. But to get this netherite ingot, it's gonna be really hard, because what you need to do is you need to take 4 scrap and 4 gold in any pattern in the crafting table, and that only gets you 1 netherite ingot. But how do you get this scrap, you might be wondering? Is that ore you saw at the start of the video is a new nether ore that spawns deep underground between levels 13 to 17. And when you smelt that in a furnace or a blast furnace, of course the blast furnace is faster, you get 1 netherite scrap. But these, even down at that level, it is similar to emerald rarity, it's actually a little bit rarer than emeralds. But this stuff is super rare, but you're gonna want this because, as you see here, this stuff can make new tools and armor that's better than diamond, including a new netherite sword that has 1 more attack damage than a diamond sword. As you can see there, that has 8, while the other is just normal. Not only that, but if we, say, grab the netherite helmet and this diamond helmet, and we head over here to the enchantment area, you're gonna notice that when we put this in here, we're going to get better enchants on the netherite helmet by average than the diamond helmet. As you can see here, this one got aqua affinity and protection, and this one just got fire protection. And, you know, we did get lucky with the diamond helmet here, but it's just more often you're going to get better enchantments from the enchantment table with your netherite tools and armor than you will with your diamond, because it has a higher enchantability rate. But as you can see here, we got 2 new nether wood types. We have the crimson and the warped. These spawn in the crimson forest and the warped forest, which are new nether biomes. As you can see here, we got literally all the wood types, everything. But as you can see here in the transportation tab, there are actually not boats yet. It's speculated that maybe because these wood types are actually fire resistant, meaning I could light these on fire right now and it will not burn. It's just gonna stay there. It won't burn. It won't like break the wood at all because it's fireproof. Same with the warped over there. But there are not boat types yet, so people speculate that maybe when they add the boats of these 2 new wood types, they'll be able to go on lava, which will be really cool to see if that is true. But as you can see, there, it went out perfectly normal. These trapdoors and trapdoors are all here though, they all work. And you got your pressure plates and everything. These shades are actually very unique though, and I really like what they did with them. As you can see here, we have crimson nilium, which is kind of like a grass type substance that you can find growing on netherrock in the crimson forest, and we also have warped nilium, for of course the warped variant of the same thing. We have the nether warp blocks, which are used sort of as like leaves of those trees, the crimson and warp trees. But we also have a new type of nether warp block, which is known as the warped warp block. This stuff is the same thing, just a minor hue change. If we look here, you see we have crimson roots. These are like a little grass type you can find in the crimson forest. And over here we have nether sprouts and warped roots, which are just two things you can find in the warped biome. But in the crimson biome, they don't have the sprouts, but they do have these cool vine things that can grow on the walls. And, well, not the walls, but like dangle from the trees and such. But if we take some bone meal here, you'll notice these little mushrooms that I didn't mention before. So warped fungi. These actually act as saplings for the new types of trees. You can find them hanging around. But you see there, we have just created some new trees, and as you can see right there, there's a tiny little weeping vine. The weeping vines have a similar growth cycle to kelp. It's just they're growing down instead of up. They go up to age 25 and they stop, just like kelp does. But they just grow down instead of up, as you can see. But behind us, we have a few new blocks. These are more specific to the biome we are in right now, which is the Soul Sand Valley. As you can see, we have soul soil. This is just like normal soil, it's like the soul sand, but it doesn't slow you down. It has similar texture, but it doesn't slow you down like the other. This stuff might be one of my new favorite blocks. As you can see here, this basalt. These grow in little pillars in the Soul Sand Valley. They act like logs, kind of how they can be placed. And if you notice here, the top texture really just looks like cobblestone with a little filter on it. So you could possibly mix it in with cobblestone to get some nice effect going. And I really like that about this block. And right here, this is the ancient debris. This is the new ore we mentioned earlier. This stuff is super rare. The texture on it is quite unique though, and I really like this. It makes like a nice wall texture, but definitely only recommend for creative. And this is made from 9 netherite ingots, just like you'd make a block of iron or block of gold, block of diamond, any of those. But this might be one of the best textures in the game now. But it's so expensive that you will probably not see it used in builds often. But when you do, this will look very beautiful. With just like this nice gray texture, it just opens up so much new for building. It cannot be used to power beacons as of yet. We have the Hoglin. This is the mob that they showed at Minecon. But right now it doesn't have much AI, and when you hit it, its limbs flap about, and it's not really implemented fully yet. It also does not drop food, like it said in the Minecon livestream. It only drops rotten flesh, which you can eat, but not really. So, they haven't been fully implemented. Let's hope that they have added more to them in the future. But moving on, as you can see here, we have a flint and steel. You can light this on netherrock, and it will just make your normal fire still. But if you light it on soul soil, then it turns the fire blue. A little misconception about this, though, is some people thought you'd be able to light it on soul sand and get the same effect. That is not true. You cannot light a fire on soul sand. You can only light it on soul soil, and then it creates the blue fire. Blue fire does double the damage of normal fire, but if we put a mob in this real quick, you'll notice that as of now, it makes them have red fire, which hopefully will be changed. But right now it just does that. It still does double the damage of normal fire though, which is really unique. But if you want, there's actually new torches and lanterns too. Simply make a torch, but add 1 soul soil to it, and you'll get 4 soul fire torches. You use those in a lantern recipe to make a soul fire lantern. This, along with the blue fire, all emit less light than an actual torch or fire. The light emitted from the blue fire the soul fire actually is its technical name. But everything made out of this soul, like all the soul fire, actually has a lower light level than normal fire. So you're gonna need more of these to light up an area than you would the other. But it just kind of looks cool. The light level is so low actually that it will not melt snow. So if you want light but don't, like in a snow biome, but you don't want to melt the snow, you can indeed use your soulfire torches and your soulfire lanterns without ever melting the snow. But now, probably the coolest feature, and I already showed you this in that little introduction scene, but if we break this chest full of all the new netherite stuff that's better than diamond, it all floats up. Every single thing of netherite floats in lava and does not burn. It sounds like it's burning, but none of it burns at all. If we go in here, you can pick it up. You can see that everything, including scrap, ingots, blocks of netherite, ancient debris, everything does not burn. So if you, in theory, were to die in lava, which netherite armor and tools do not save you from, by the way, but if you do die in lava, and you go back to that spot, your items made out of the netherite will be perfectly fine. So next is a little hidden feature that you will not see on any changelogs, but I'm sure you've seen in other videos. There is a minor change to how walls work, in which now they actually connect. So as you see here, there used to be gaps in between these, and it really didn't look good. But now they look like an actual wall, and you can actually use these wall blocks to make a proper wall. And also, as a little design thing for any builders out there, if you place any block on top of it that would make this change, like this for example, then you will notice the entire thing goes straight down and makes this little bump there. So you could possibly use that for building in some way. Next over here, if I grab this flint steel, there's another special feature about these new netherite blocks. As you can see, like the block of netherite, they are TNT resistant. But not only that, but they can be pushed by pistons. So now we have something that is immune to TNT and can be pushed by a piston, as long as that doesn't change, of course, which it's only the first snapshot. Things will change. So there's a chance that they might remove this in the future, but let's hope they don't, because having something explosion resistant that can be pushed by pistons, even if it is this expensive, is a game changer for redstoners out there. So, next, as you can see here, I have categorized things by the new sounds. Basically, if it goes down, that's me trying to tell you, hey, these, as far as I can tell, seem to make the same exact sound effect. But if we take a look here and grab one of each of the new things that make sound, we can listen to these new sounds, like, kind of more exclusively. So I'll let you listen here and be quiet. So those were the new sounds, and I think now that we have covered all the main features, I think what we'll do is I will show you the new biomes and kind of a just kind of like some nice fly through some of the new nether biomes, as I can talk to you about what kind of mobs you'll find in each biome, and just kind of a general sense of what each biome is currently. This is the Crimson Forest. This is a new biome in the nether, as I'm sure you've seen. It is the home of pigments and hoglins. It's the only biome where hoglins can spawn as of now. And it's just full of the new crimson trees and all the new crimson vines and plant life and everything I showed you earlier. This place is kind of a more violent biome, as you can see just by how many pig creatures are everywhere. It isn't the hardest biome necessarily, but it is a fairly hard biome and not one you really want to live in. With all the lava everywhere and everything, it just isn't the kind of place where you will want to live. It does look very cool though, as you can see, with all of its red everything, the vines dangling from the trees, just everything. It's kind of cool to see. Welcome to the Warped Forest. It's a new biome in the Nether. It's very blue, it's very calm. There's not much threats around. It's pretty much just Endermen. They're the only thing that can spawn in the biome in this current version, though we haven't seen any yet. But it's just kind of relaxing. If you want to make a base somewhere in the Nether, it's definitely gotta be in this biome, as it is the most peaceful out of any of them, and the least likely that you will have any sort of danger, something to come destroy your base. The warp forest is just the best biome to not die in. And also it's just kind of a pun based off of Enderman warping around to the warped forest. Huh, it's so funny. I'm so funny, huh? Welcome to the Soul Sand Valley. This is definitely my favorite of the new Nether biomes. As you can see, with its blue fire everywhere due to the soul soil that is found all over this place, it's definitely one of the most deadly. Along with gas and skeletons spawning here, you're definitely going to have an issue if you come here unprepared. Bone blocks can be found at surplus though, so if you need bone meal, this might be a very good place to go for it, but it's going to be dangerous if you do. There are basalt pillars that go from the floor to the ceiling in this place, so of course a new block is also just kind of another incentive to go here. Some think that the large amount of fossils may be a little bit too much, as if it's going to kind of hinder the gameplay to get bone meal so easily. But I think it's fine due to how dangerous this place can get without being prepared for it. This is the Nether Waste. It's the final biome available currently in this update, and it's not that much special. It's the exact same Nether we've always had in the game. It's just kind of a third biome to think about. It has glowstone, like plenty of glowstone everywhere. It has a lot of gravel hanging around, and you'll find gas and pigmen and everything like normal. There are no hoglins and I'm not sure if Endermen still spawn here or not. They may have made it so only Endermen spawn in they only spawn in the warp forest now, but I have no evidence of this, so that's not a very viable piece of information. And I'm sure you've seen through the other clips that some other biomes had nether fortresses, and that's because nether fortresses do not spawn exclusively in any biome. They can be found in any of the new biomes at all. Mostly this biome is kind of a filler in between other biomes. You don't often see that too much of this, and as you see, as we've been flying about there, we've been crossing paths with a lot of other biomes. Just flying through here because This is because it just kind of fills in between other biomes. Two more things to note before we end off. The change in the walls when you place a block on top is detectable by an observer, meaning now we have like an instant communication downwards. If you put a piston to push some block over this, then you could instantly send that message down however many blocks you want. So it's like an instant current. Typically, the developers try and remove these, so I do not expect this to last through this future snapshots. I'm expecting they'll find some way of removing that. It's just something to note for now. One final thing to mention is, even though you don't get to see this very well in survival, in creative mode, because there's no portal cooldown, you really get to see this feature in action. But they made nether portal load times so fast. There was no cut in time right there. That was all instant. If I go back and forth, you can just see how fast everything changes, and it's so fast that it's actually kind of weird to see just how optimized Minecraft has become with its loading. There's barely any loading screen. You can see it flicker on the screen for a moment, but it's just gone. It's kind of weird to see this happen, though. This isn't something you really think about often, but it's just so fast that I figured I'd mention how improved the game has become. There's a lot of other bug fixes and stuff too, but I'm not going to mention those. I only really came here to mention some of the big feature changes. But I hope you like this video.